Does your anxiety ever seem to just come out of nowhere? You're doing fine one minute and then the next, suddenly you're overwashed with anxiety? In this video, I'll cover some of the unexpected sources of anxiety so you can have a better understanding of what's happening when you get an anxiety response and how you can better respond. I'm Meredith McKenzie of Parallel Wellness, and on this channel, we explore topics that bring clients into our therapy practice every day. You'll find strategies and tips that you can make your own to help enhance your everyday life and manage your mental wellness. So subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell in the corner so that you're notified when new videos are posted. We publish every Wednesday. The first thing to do when you're hit with anxiety that seems to come out of nowhere, once you've managed the initial response, is to look for the triggers. You might not have even realized that something was a trigger for you. So writing it down and keeping a list of these things can be really helpful. Try to be as specific as possible. Time of day, who was there, topics of conversation or topics of your thoughts. You might not even notice, but it might have been something that happened really fleetingly in the bunch of other things that you were doing that really had an impact on you. So it's important to sometimes write this down and take some time to reflect and really notice what it is that's triggering you. Is there a theme there? Is there something that seems to keep coming up over and over again that maybe then you can try to address? The more you know about your anxiety and how your different triggers impact you, the better prepared you'll be the next time it comes around, and you'll be able to create a plan to manage those symptoms within the moment. Sleep is a really important factor when you're thinking about anxiety and how your anxiety is impacting you. We all know that 8 hours of sleep are recommended, but when you're getting less than this amount of sleep, it can really impact your physiological health and our experiences of anxiety. Research has even shown that when people are not getting enough sleep or experiencing symptoms of insomnia, that it can severely impact their experience of anxiety symptoms. So, having a healthy sleep routine is really important. Making sure that you're getting your adequate sleep, or at least you have the time for that adequate sleep, taking time away from screens and electronics before bedtime so that your mind has time to turn off and settle before bedtime is a really helpful way to help manage your sleep. And if you're looking for something to do before bedtime, reading can be a really helpful distraction that helps distract your mind from both, the habit that you have of wanting to maybe scroll through your phone, but it also allows your mind to focus on something other than the thoughts that might flood your brain right before you're about to fall asleep. This one's a bit of a two-parter, but I would say definitely taking a look at what are you consuming. One, caffeine is a huge culprit, and the second is alcohol for similar but different reasons. I have to say that I'm incredibly sensitive to caffeine, and that wasn't always the case. So it was something that's quite surprising to me, and I would say or recommend to anybody, things can change throughout your life depending on how much you're consuming. So have a look at that. But caffeine consumption, what it does is it has a very similar effect. It's an upper on our body. It has a similar effect to anxiety where it gets your body going, and it can make your heart rate faster. It can make you feel jittery within your body, which really simulates a lot of the experiences of anxiety. So have a look at that. How much caffeine are you consuming, and do you need to cut back? Maybe you need to cut caffeine out of your diet completely. Also look for the more hidden culprits, right? Like maybe the tea you weren't expecting that had caffeine in it, or you asked for a decaf, but it maybe didn't have decaf in it, or even chocolate that you weren't expecting to have that same effect on you. So the second one is alcohol, and you might not have expected alcohol to have the same effects on your anxiety that caffeine would, because it is a depressant or a downer, but research has shown that alcohol does actually increase your anxiety. The other effect that it does have as well is it causes sleep deprivation, or it disrupts your sleep, and so in that way as well, it's impacting another one of those potential influencers on your anxiety. Have you taken on too much? Have a look at everything that you're doing. Oftentimes we get more anxious or feel more stressed out when our list of to-dos is super long, or we're trying to run here and there and our schedule's all over the place. When we pile more and more and more onto our plates, it makes us more susceptible to experience anxiety. I really encourage you to look at how much you're taking on, how much you're saying yes to, and think about what your own personal capacity is. It's not going to be the same for everybody, but know yourself and recognize, or try to recognize when you're at your peak or you're at your capacity, and practice saying no, or practice, putting some things on your calendar for a later date so that you're not taking on too much and you're not creating more susceptibility to your anxiety. Next, have a look at how much time you're spending indoors. As the winter months come closer, we spend more and more time inside, and with that, we're more susceptible to increases in anxiety and depression because of lack of exposure to the natural elements and a decrease in vitamin D that we're getting from the sunlight. Research has shown that the more time you spend outdoors, the better you feel, it impacts your mood, and it improves symptoms of anxiety. For any of us who live in the Vancouver area, you'll know that going for hikes and being outdoors is a big part of our lifestyle, and a lot of clients will say to me that when they're able to spend some time outdoors, even if it's just for a quick walk outdoors, feeling, the air on your face and the sun on your face can really go a long way. So it doesn't have to be something, lavish and big where you're spending a lot of time outdoors, but just getting outside for at least 10 minutes, 15 minutes per day can really go a long way. Another hidden source of anxiety is being plugged in all the time. It's really easy, especially when we carry our cell phones around with us and they're our life source for being able to communicate with people and get the news and to be able to have access to our calendars and that type of thing. They become kind of the catch-all for everything that we need. But the more plugged in you are, the more it can impact your anxiety. For one, notifications. We get notifications all throughout the day, and they can either be positive, they can be negative, they can just remind you of all of the things that you have on your to-do list, and can create that kind of sudden urge of anxiety. So if you're having a moment where you're like, I don't know where my anxiety came from, think about how connected you are with your cell phone. Some strategies for that might be, taking an hour or two per day where you don't check messages, or choosing a time when you specifically will check your messages and letting people know that that's when you'll get back to them. You can also set your phone on Do Not Disturb or turn your notifications off so that you have the control over when you want to find out that information or check in, and it's not something that's just coming at you continuously. So you came to this video looking for answers. Why am I experiencing this anxiety right now? It doesn't seem to have a cause, and I hope that this video answers some of those questions. So if you're experiencing anxiety right now and really can't find the cause of it, I would recommend you to go back through this video, make an inventory of some of the things that might be impacting you right now, and then you can work to mitigate those things. So maybe it's Sunday night and you're worried about the next day. Maybe it's that you had a cup of coffee at 3 p.m. and realized, wow, I'm actually really sensitive to caffeine. Or maybe it's that you have a big to-do list right now and it's about, checking some of those things off, or removing some of them from your list for the time being so that you're able to have some more breathing room. I really hope that this video is helpful to you, and if you have any additions that you would like to add, or hidden places that anxiety triggers come from, definitely leave us a comment in the comment section below. This comment section below is going to be our community to support one another, to help manage anxiety symptoms and other mental health things. Please keep it friendly, keep the topics supportive, and I can't wait to talk to all of you. So if you'd like this video, give us a like. Don't forget to subscribe, because we're still going on this anxiety series, and you're not going to want to miss next week's video. It's a very special video with Janie where she's going to try out a whole bunch of different virtual reality games that are really helpful for helping people to expose themselves to specific phobias and different things that cause anxiety. So it's something that we were really excited to try out. I had a shot at it. So if you want to see me try out my fear of heights and to expose myself to that, I can't wait, kind of. But stay tuned for that. So we'll see you in the next video.